Alright, so welcome back everybody. You're watching the Gigabyte Dota Masters. Now this is World Elite on the Radiant and they're up against Zenith on the Die. Now World Elite have replaced Genuineness of Geeks GOG in this tournament, so this is their second match for the... I believe this is Group D. This is their second match, and honestly, it is going to be a little rocky. We saw them just not do all that hot just now against inv-red, and now they're going to go up against Zenith, who are looking to be one of the scarier teams in all of Southeast Asia. So, I don't know, gods, I'm not feeling too good for World Elite in this case. I don't think I'm really going to rate them as the underdogs here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. World Elite are heavy underdogs here. I mean, they didn't look all that strong in their last game. They had a nice early game, but when it came down to it, they just sort of fell apart a bit. And Zenith are a team who absolutely are known for dominating the early game, being very aggressive. And if World Elite fall behind early, I have to worry that they are going to just find themselves just being outplayed and outmaneuvered by Zenith. We're going to have to see what they pick up here. They need to make sure they ban some of those aggressive heroes Zenith like to pick up. They've been using the Sand King, the Leshrac a lot. Even Enigma has often seen a lot of play coming out from Zenith. I mean, last night, one of the games you missed, Zenith picked up, they had HY on Tiny. They had all these aggressive heroes against the Illusion, and they got about 30 kills in 14 minutes. It was absolutely a slaughter. So we're going to see what they want to go with here.
Oh boy, well, Lycan getting picked off first, Chen also getting taken out of the mix. This is pretty stock standard. In fact, we rarely see Chen get used as of late just because people ban him off so damn frequently. So I won't be seeing him, and I'm kind of expecting the Brewmaster to get taken out. Again, also the Invoker, a very, very common ban. Also Darkseer, I'm just wondering if Darkseer is still managing to stay in there in this first. He seems to be, ever since the Brewmaster was coming in, he seems to be getting bumped out every now and then. And he's more likely to get picked up just because he won't show up in those first bans. But we'll see whether or not he manages to make it through this time. As we do have a couple of spare bans for Zenith still.
I think it's a hero that Zenith would probably like to ban off unless they're going to be able to pick it up themselves. Simply because, they like to play aggressive, they like to get those steals. Darkseer is one of those very elusive heroes. You have to chain stun him, but if he can surge away, or surge away whoever you try and focus down, it can be very annoying. Not to mention that Iron Shell can be great in those defensive ganks. Combo with a vacuum, and suddenly a dive on a tower can turn into a double kill in return. So it's a great sort of rebuttal spell, the Iron Shell with the vacuum. As Zenith, they're the ones who are going to ban out the Leshrac, which is a hero they've been using quite a lot, but we saw WE use it last game, and maybe a hero they were thinking of picking up again, as we'll see what World Elite decide to go with for their last ban. Prophet still in the pool. We saw that last game being first picked by inv-red. Maybe World Elite thinking they can go for it themselves.
Definitely possible. Also, the Brewmaster still in the mix has been an incredibly common ban ever since he came into the competitive pool, so I would not be surprised if we see him get knocked out by one of the teams. Although we got to remember that World Elite, they do have the first pick open to them, so they could leave up something powerful if they do want to pick it up, and they ban off that Prophet. They did not enjoy it from last game, as it looks like, did not enjoy that amount of map control that the Prophet was providing, and just full on pushing, and just generally being an irritating, vexing hero. But now one more ban here for Zenith. What are they going to pick off? They've taken out the Lycan. Will they pick off the Brewmaster as well? It looks like we might see the Darkseer slip through for a change and maybe get picked up, because he's just such a damn good suicide solo. Along with just that early mid game, he can also be very difficult to push against, just because vacuum is always a huge threat when you're trying to just get in there near the tower, sort of cluster up. You can just drag a few heroes out of position and then really just set them up for complete and utter doom.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think World Elite are trying to leave the Brewmaster in the pool. They may just go for the first pick here. It's a hero that... Whoa. Well, no, they're going to go for the Darkseer instead. So Darkseer in the pool. Going to put that over the Brewmaster. And now Zenith, Ice is fairly well known for playing that Brewmaster. He's one of the players who just plays any role. His micro is sensational. He played Dota for a long time, and then he went over to StarCraft 2. So he's a great micro-macro player. He can do it all. And if they pick up that Brewmaster, it's likely to be him on it. They're going to go with the winner, though, to start things off, which is a hero we almost always seeing picked up with the first couple of picks, and they're going to get the Brewmaster as well. These two picks from Zen, exactly what I would have expected.
Alright, so we're going to see some crazy micro. I hope we see some crazy micro anyways, rather than some fail micro. Always a shocker when that comes out, but now the double pick for World Elite. What are they going to grab? They've got their suicide solo set up. I mean, Darkseer can jungle, but uncommon compared to him being used in that in the hard sideline solo. So they've got that sorted out already. What are they going to pick up for their mid and their safe lane as well? I mean, they could go for the double mid if I mean, Brewmaster, when we see him get played, generally we see him get thrown into the mid lane. Whether or not if it's a solo or a double lane, doesn't really matter. But every game that we've seen with the Brewmaster, I think for this tournament, has been a Brewmaster in the mid, if memory serves me correctly, gods. Or was there a couple of sideline games? I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we've seen any in this tournament, but I know Zenith in other tournaments, I think the Pro Dota 2 tournament, have run him as a safe lane, sort of dual lane. they haven't put him, it's not really a strong hero for a trialing, simply because you do need the XP on him to get that ultimate up as fast as possible. But we could see dual lane maybe in the safe lane, or we could just see him go mid, either as a solo or even dual lane mid. Brewmaster is a great hero to have when you want to set up those dual lanes. You can do a dual lane top, dual lane mid, and then find some side lane solos, such as the winner, which they've already got.
Yeah, well, we had Rasta getting picked up, so I mean, assuming that they're going to run him as a solo mid, he's definitely one of the stronger solo heroes around. We'll be able to control that Brewmaster relatively well, and the main thing is he'll be able to stand back as well. Brewmaster has a habit of rushing that bottle and just spamming the crap out of Thunderclaps. Anybody with a really short range, or even just a melee hero, is generally relatively finds himself frustrated by the Brewmaster in the mid. But in this case, if they're running that, well, I mean, because we do occasionally see the Shaman, the Shadow Shaman get used as a support. It does work. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it does definitely work. So if he winds up there, I think he'll be able to handle it. The question is whether or not he will be trying to solo that mid. Tidehunter getting picked up, though, I'm kind of thinking, well, I mean, we could see. Really depends, actually.
Probably support.
Probably
I'd say
support,
it's looking to be a support.
Probably support.
Based on the Shadow Shaman and the Darkseer pick, I mean, Shadow Shaman, more often than not, goes to the solo mid lane. We've seen some Chinese teams run it as a support, but I think Tidehunter is the better option here, and I think with the Shadow Shaman pick, maybe Zenith are going to look to put a dual lane with the Panda at mid to really shut down Shadow Shaman in that mid lane. Yeah,
I mean, if they pair him up with a good stun would be, a good range stun would be good for him. If they can pair him up with a good range stun, or even just something like Crystal Maiden in the mid lane, just a huge nuke threat, you just pin him down, slow him down, and just get that Brewmaster on top of him. And once that Brewmaster is on top of him with that Thunderclap, it's pretty much lights out for something like Shaman, who just doesn't have that much health in the first place. So he might even need some backup from another support, or even something like a VS just rotating up there to help him out. But we'll find out how they run this in a minute. The second series of bans coming out just now. Shadow Demon, though, being picked up. I mean, that's something that could definitely set up that Brewmaster.
Yeah, no, could be a nice little dual lane they want to do there. But at the same time, I mean, it's more a defensive support here. Getting something like a Crystal Maiden is a lot more offensive, which is generally what you want to be doing with the Brewmaster. So maybe Shadow Demon going to be looking to pair up with someone in that safe lane. I want to see what exactly they want to do. Right now, DK and Demetrius, we're seeing some carries being banned out, but Zenith not really all that known for picking up those hard carries. They much prefer to be aggressive early on. Although we've seen, I think last night against the Illusion, they did pick up the Faceless Void, but that seemed to be something a bit more experimental. Here against World Elite, they're going to be looking to play a bit more of a standard game.
You know, we had the DK getting knocked out, we had the Anti-Mage getting taken out along with that Night Stalker. So getting rid of that early game firepower, I honestly don't know if they'd run, well, like you said, Zenith can run the side lane Brewmaster, and if they threw in a Night Stalker mid, that would be a really scary amount of like nuke and like just gankers that would be available to them. But I don't know if they do it. The Silent Bear, though, the last ban, they're going to get rid of that, so World Elite can't have that really nasty farm bear. I honestly don't know if they really do all that. Because if they're going to get really active and going to push down a lob's house, Silent Bear might not even be able to get that involved. It really depends. It really depends exactly how much pressure they put on. But at the moment, then again, I don't think they put on that much pressure. They don't have that much of a good pushing team at the moment. They've just got some strong lanes, and they're going to hope to dominate from there at the moment. The question is whether or not we see a hard carry get thrown in the mix, because if they're running the Windrunner hard lane solo, run the dual lane in mid with the Shadow Demon or another support along with a Bounty Hunter. So my train of thought gets derailed. Bounty Hunter, okay, so this is definitely a very out there pick. I know AL have experimented with the BH in the past, but it hasn't worked out all that well. But I mean, Bounty Hunter's an interesting hero. He's one of those heroes can just sort of survive an annoying lane, can just sort of survive, get past it, and then once he gets his ult, he's sort of in this unique situation where he can afford to suddenly start trading kills, because his team will come out ahead with the track money. As long as he's tracking everything, when you get in these fights, you can wind up and just sort of trade kills left, right, and center and still get ahead of the other team. So he's a bit of a weird hero like that, but haven't seen him being used all that effectively as of yet. He's definitely a little weird. And they pick up a Storm Spirit. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a support Rasta.
Yeah, it does look like we're going to see the Tide as well as the Rasta in the support roles, unless they want to put that Darkseer in jungle, but Darkseer likely to be that side lane solo. At the same time, Bounty Hunter, another candidate who can go into that side lane solo. We'll see just how they want to do this. Zenith, though, Venomancer and Death Prophet. So they're going to get the silence. That's one way of helping to deal with that Storm Spirit, but they're going to be looking to be taking some towers as a team, maybe early on, using that Death Prophet ultimate. They've got the Brewmaster to sort of prevent the World Elite team from engaging in. But I much prefer this lineup from World Elite. They've got the Storm Spirit and the Bounty Hunter, two great initiating, ganking heroes. You can track a lot of heroes, you can go firing in with Storm, and then you've got the backup, the disables, the team fight options from Tidehunter, Darkseer, as well as the Shadow Shaman.
Just a heads up, might want to turn the mic just a little bit. We can hear everybody talking in the background at the moment. The boss is busy. I think he's yelling at someone on the phone
Yeah.
again. But yeah, I really want to see how this bounty hunter turns out. Just because I see him picked up every now. It seems to be a very rare fringe pick. Shows up every now and then, but I haven't seen him used that effectively as of yet. I know you guys. Last time I saw him picked, actually, it was AL versus Quanta. This is going back months. That's how rare he is. But you guys were trying this really interesting pocket strat with using the bounty hunter to basically fuel a Leshrack's farm and just sort of help him out with his positioning for his edicts as well as his pulse novas. Didn't work out at all just because Leshrack got completely and utterly shit stomped in his lane. But we'll see how this turns out now. And I mean, if they can get that heavy ganking going, it's really going to accelerate their. It's really going to allow like Darkseer, even like Tidehunter and Rasta to catch up on their farm. If you can just get that mass amount of track ganks happening, or even just allow Storm Spirit to completely spiral out of control and turn into a huge fat snowballed semi-carry.
Yeah, this game's going to be all about the Storm Spirit. He is the one who needs to get that nice early game, get ganking, and really set up those ganks. Bounty Hunter, I mean, he doesn't. He wants to get some items up, but it's not going to be crucial for him. He's just going to be relying on using that track to keep vision of heroes. And the team fight, I mean, the Tide, the Darkseer, great options for World Elite. Zenith, though, if they have a strong laning phase, they'll still be looking very, very strong going into the mid game. And that's going to come down to what the matchups are. It looks like it is going to be Ice, Ice, Ice on the Brewmaster heading top with the support from the Shadow Demon. They've got Windrunner going to the side lane, Death Prophet to mid, and Venomancer maybe going to go bottom as well with that Windrunner.
You can still hear the boss shouting talking in the background. He's not really shouting, he's just sort of talking casually on the phone or whatever. Ordering his minions about, ordering the TT Esport minions about. But now, what is, okay, no, wait a minute, what's going on down here? Darkseer has started off with a shield, he's got the wards as well. Bounty Hunter has started off with a Shadow Walk. I think we might actually be seeing a jungling Darkseer. It looks like Bounty Hunter will be taking the hard lane, so we'll just be trying to level in this top lane. He will be up against... Actually, it's hard to tell at the moment. Are they going to run the supports in the bottom lane? Are they going to dual lane? What is Zenith going to do here? In fact, I'm thinking it looks like the Crobulus is going to be mid at the moment. We lost one of the streamers. Chinese streamer has DC'd there. But I think we might actually have a jungling Darkseer at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely looks like jungle Darkseer. They're going to have the Bounty Hunter just trying to survive at top lane, but he's actually going to find himself up against what at the moment is a solo Brewmaster. So maybe Zenith, expecting these lanes, just going to leave Brewmaster 1v1 matchup at top. Mid lane, you've got Tidehunter going to be soloing it up mid lane. This is something a few of the Chinese teams are doing. They're just running Tidehunter as a solo mid, and he is going to be rushing that ball. It's similar to how they play the solo mid Slardar, except it's a hero that needs less items. He just needs to get that level 6 ulti, but he's going to be up against a very tough lane, the Death Prophet, who can just harass him down. Bottom lane, I mean, this is a lane where Windrunner may struggle. So right now, Zenith, their support's roaming around the map a fair bit and trying to find the best place they can go.
And Tidehunter in the mid, he is going for a bit of an eco build, trying to get the ball. I think they were really expecting the Brewmaster in mid, but in the end it wasn't going to happen just because, well, they've got the Prophet in there. And, I mean, at the moment, Venomancer is here in the lane, but he doesn't need to be here. He can just back off, give Crobulus, he's going to back off. Ash catch him. Pokemon Master is going to back off and just give Crobulus some space so she can get those levels, because she is definitely level dependent. So giving her space is a great thing. It's now Windrunner trying to go toe-to-toe with Rasta. Rasta, of course, can afford to trade hits just because, well, he's a support and he doesn't need to be here. If he just gets Windrunner to back off, his job is complete. Although, unfortunately, he's being chased in the jungle by Creep, chased back to the lane by Creep, sadly enough. And Windrunner, as long as she can keep Rasta out of her face, she should be okay.
Yeah, I like what they're doing at the moment with this Storm Spirit in the bottom lane. It's a safer lane for Storm to be. This mid lane is pretty prone to being ganked, and also Death Prophet not the easiest matchup, especially if Death Prophet gets an early ball. So giving the support to the Storm Spirit, making sure he has a nice early game, and get up the items he needs, going to be very useful, as Bounty Hunter at top has already managed to get this creep wave pulled back to his tower. So both the bottom and top lane should go okay for World Elite, as bottom lane, actually, Venomancer gets a kill on Shadow Shaman early on. Storm Spirit gets one in revenge on Windrunner, and Storm looking to get the Venomancer as well, trading hits. Does he have a pull? It's on cooldown. He has another Remnant. That's going to slow as well if he can get that hit, but he's looking to get a few more hits. Remnant and a slow. Not going to come. There we go. There's the slow. He needs one more right click. Is it going to come? Not going to come. We'll salve up the Venomancer, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade at bottom, but first blood to Zenith.
Yeah, and it looks like the counter wards have come out early. In fact, Shadow Demon starting off with his counter wards. He will be supporting the Brewmaster. Looks like they're also yoinking, doing a bit of creep pulling there with the hard camp. But yeah, they've started off with the counter wards. That's probably annoying the Bounty Hunter. No, he's doing okay though. He's level 3, so he's at least keeping par. He's about the same. Actually, no, he's actually slightly behind on experience, but at least he's getting a few levels. He doesn't. Main thing is he doesn't want to get completely crushed. As long as he can get some levels up, get that 6, help out with the ganks, he should be doing just fine. So I've lost track of Titan. Oh, okay, he went down to the bottom room, picked up a regen. I mean, he got his bottle in pretty decent time. Started off with an eco build. He has done pretty well. Has burned all of his tangos, so has been getting harassed pretty badly, which is to be expected, just because Croblis is going to spam the crap out of her Crypt Swarm. As now Titan is...
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, Titan is not actually farming all that well. 6 creeps to HY 17, so, I mean, it's a hard lane. It's not really expected Titan to do that well. He's just trying to get the levels as much as possible, and with getting a bit of farm along the way, as we will see maybe Darkseer looking to come in and help one of these lanes. Darkseer likely to gank the bottom lane, though. The mid lane is not all that gankable until Tide has a Ravage, so maybe Darkseer going to look to gank bottom, but right now Darkseer actually using that courier to send the ball back to base to refill it.
I'm actually... Oh, wait, there we go. He is stacking the halves. Let's say, where's that stack? Just because, you know, when you see Darkseer, on the odd occasion you see Darkseer jungle, he will start stacking creep camps, or one of the hard camps, just because he can do so well with that smoke trick, although he's not stacking as hard as I thought. Looks like he's decided, you know what, I'm going to come and help try and get a gank off. Level 2 Iron Shell, I mean, they could set something up here. I heard a Venomous Guard, they're going to try and jump him. In fact, there we go, Storm Spirit manning up, jumping in. Here comes a double kill, I think. Vacuuming, going to draw that Venomancer back. There's the Electric Vortex, and that is a very, very dead Veno.
Yeah, much nicer play from World Elite. This is completely new team from what we saw last game. I mean, last game they did have a strong early game, but it was mostly because of the heroes. They were up against an anti-mage, put a tri-lane against him. This game, though, they're just moving around the map well and really playing... It's just a smart style of play. I mean, using this Darkseer in jungle, but it's being very, very effective at the moment.
As I'm just... Wow, there's a lot of bottles. In fact, the Radiant opening up with 3 bottles. They've got one on Titan, one on Darkseer. I think that last one is going to go to Storm Spirit in a minute. No? Wait, yes, yeah, that is... Looks like you're just going to Storm Spirit.
Top lane, they've gone on Bounty Hunter. They've got a Sentinel. Bounty Hunter in trouble here. There's Poison stack. One more right click. Not going to be enough as the Poison actually gets the kill. Level 2 Shadow Poison. So support Shadow Demon actually leveling up the Poison and they get that kill. So I think with the bottles, it's something fairly common. It's such a cost-effective item. Even if they're not getting many runes, it's still worth buying. Just for the, I mean, being 600 gold, giving you all that regen, and it's instant regen, unlike items such as Ring of Health or the Ring of Regen.
Bounty Hunter teleporting back to his lane, just going to try and harass there with the Shuriken. Did he get that bottle? Yeah, that was for him. Somebody else's boots in. There might have been Tidehunter's boots. Has picked up some boots in the mid. As Den's bottom lane has been a little bit rough for Windrunner, but it looks like the World Elite currently happy just to sacrifice his top lane, just waiting for the Bounty Hunter to get that 6, and I'm pretty sure once he gets to 6, we'll see him gank just non-stop and just put a lot of pressure on. And I mean, I don't know if this, I don't know if the Radiant are that bothered about the Brewmaster getting a ton of free farm. Like, they might hurt for it in the mid game, but then again, they've got to have some decent initiation for themselves with their own Tidehunter, provided he gets that blink up and running, or just his Arcane Boots blink, that sort of thing. Or even the Raster if he can get a big cash as well.
Yeah, as top lane, Bounty Hunter actually does a lot of damage onto this Brewmaster, getting him down to 1 hit away from death, but Brewmaster able to escape, does have a boot as well as an urn up, so going to be definitely wanting to get a kill soon with this urn stacking some charges, but the problem is right now he's going to go back to base to heal, as he's actually going to walk all the way back, probably TP back in, but at the moment I feel World Elite just having a slightly better laning phase in this Storm Spirit, about to hit level 6, and with those treads we'll have a decent mana pool to start ganking and start getting involved.
There we go, he's level 6 right now. I hear a power shot just harassing there. Not really hitting a whole lot. What is that coming out? Shadow Shaman picking up. I'm not exactly sure what he got there. As a possible gank on mid, they are gunning for this kill, although Best Prophet bottling up. And Bounty Hunter will have to back
use
up.
the Ravage as well.
Oh,
and,
man.
Not going to get the kill.
I am honestly very surprised that Bounty Hunter didn't sit in his lane and wait for that 6. Because they would have gotten that had they opened up with the track. Just because they would have had the speed to chase Prophet out under the tower. Because you saw that Prophet is actually faster than BH. She got a boot. Yeah, she's got a boot. She's got the Witchcraft as well, level 3. She in fact hasn't picked up her ult yet. Interesting.
I think it's just, the ult costing too much mana right now. And I mean, HY knows this game is going to be one where he needs to get some early items up. Can't just look to push down towers right off the bat. Zenith are a bit on the back foot. I mean, they're not really behind yet, but they definitely have to play a bit defensive. They can't go look to push towers just yet. So he's going to probably wait to get the ultimate, maybe around level 8 or 9, as he has picked up the level 4 Crypt Swarm now, and we'll see just how he wants to do as Darkseer. Top lane, going to go up against the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon actually getting the T1 tower, though.
That's a big goal boost there. That is a big goal boost.
Support hero.
Big goal boost there, as it looks like, well, Venomancer's just happy to sit down here, just going to try and keep the Raster out of Windrunner's face with those Plague Wards. There's this Crobulus moving back to the mid. She's got the teleport, holding onto it though, opting not to port out. As this has just given Titan a little bit of space. He's up to 27 and 5 now. Has allowed him to catch up just a little bit, dodging that Crypt Swarm there. But we might see. Has Bounty Hunter hit 6 yet? Is a question. Quickly look at him. They're doing the invis Ion Shell trick. It's always annoying. And in fact, there we go. They're going to jump him. Pops. Oh no, he splits. Doesn't get taken out. And the dust as well. We're going to lose Bounty Hunter here. He's not going to get away. Darkseer is already left for the mid lane. Too late to save his comrade. Just sort of bugged out a little bit too early. That's not a great start for the Bounty Hunter at all. Has had a failed gank and then getting jumped. Although, speaking of getting jumped, this about sums up Venomancer's game right now. Getting jumped on top of by the Storm Spirit. The support coming in from the Dire in the bottom lane. I think the Radiant know they're coming. It has shattered him and should be able to walk away from it though. Unless Windrunner can land a good Shackle and a Power Shot, then I think that could be trouble. Poison stack, number 1. Shackle going to pin him down. Power Shot coming through. And he banishes second Poison stack. He is going to go down here. And Storm Spirit.
And he's got the Purge as well. If he wants to go on the Storm, he can pop that Purge. But it looks like he's not going to do so. He's going to save it. A Storm could fly out, but Shadow Demon, nice little gank in. And I mean, just the Soul Catcher boosting up that damage by such a large amount, even with just level 1 Soul Catcher. As now Tide looking for a counter gank. Does have the Ravage back up. HY is there though.
He's outnumbered 3-2. This could be a bit of a problem. Crypt Swarm misses. He throws down Zagash on top. Windrunner actually taking out. Wow, Stormspirit actually getting cleaned up there. And now Titan in a lot of trouble. Do they have a cancel? No, they don't. Titan are going to port out there successfully. I'm actually surprised Stormspirit got taken out there. So unfortunately, Shadow Shaman a little bit too slow to arrive to help out. He hasn't quite got his 6. One creep away from getting level 6, and then he gets those ever nasty Serpent Wards. I don't know. This Bounty Hunter pick is currently upsetting me. He has not gotten active because I mean he needs to get active. He needs to get start getting that money rolling in for his team, and he just hasn't had that opportunity yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And yeah, definitely. I think it's not come down to the pick itself. I think just he's been a bit outplayed a couple of times. I mean, that solo kill on top, the failed gank at mid where they narrowly missed killing the Death Prophet. If he got the kill on top and not died, if he got that kill on mid, it'd be a completely different game right now. But Zenith, things going their way and just being a bit more safe and calculated with their heroes. Windrunner, snipes the Darkseer. Darkseer actually buying back. I don't know whether that's a rage buyback, but. May have well been, as he is going to see Serpent Ward trap on the Venomancer. Great trap, but Shadow Shaman will go down, and Venomancer, one more lob of Serpent Ward spray will get him. And a 1-for-1 trade there, but definitely better trade for the Venomancer there, getting the XP for that kill as well.
Windrunner getting tracked. I don't think Bounty Hunter knows he's sitting on an enemy. I think that's an enemy counter ward. It is. That is a dire counter ward. I don't think he realised he was in a serious amount of danger there. Windrunner managed to land a good Shackle. He would have been pretty much lights out for him. That's not Dark. That's Storm Spirit. Ooh. Rolling around him. It looks like he's going to go back to top. And meanwhile, the Brewmaster is doing whatever the hell he wants. Still got a charge of dust. Has got the urn up and running. He's on 40. He's a little bit behind. He's 45 and 4. Not as quite as far as he'd like. And I mean, he's had a pretty easy lane too. Although Storm Spirit going to show up here. I don't know if Storm Spirit can afford to try and brawl with him though without any backup. Although he does have backup coming in the form of teal as well as yellow. And Brewmaster now just going to run for it. In fact, he's got Primal Split. He could get out of there. Throws down the Thunderclap. He's going to Primal Split in a second, though. There we go. And now he's just going to leg it. Oh, no, he's going to try and brawl. Never mind. He's going to go for it. He's going to lob that rock. He's got a dust up. He could spot up the BH if he wants to, although no, it's not going to happen. BH getting the hell out. Unfortunately, he's too damn quick. The track is still down on the Earth Panda. She lobs another rock there. I don't know if this was...
He can't actually use the dust while in ulti form, but now Shadow Demon coming in will get the Shadow Shaman, as Death Prophet has also made his way top. So if he could use that dust in ulti form, it would have been a great tool to get that Bounty Hunter. But now,
honestly thought he'd pop it
top. Oh yeah. We're going to see HY top. He has mana for the ultimate. May just decide to pop that here. They're on a bit of the run now. Track being popped. Tidehunter coming in. Has the Ravage. As we may see that being popped. Only Shadow Demon in the front now. Tidehunter wanting to hit more than one hero is going to wait up a bit before using that. But right now, Tide just being kited around.
Pops the Ravage, gets 2 with it. I don't know if they can get a kill from Crobulus, a little bit low. There's the Thunderclap. Storm Spirit jumping, going to try and take out this marked up Crobulus. He is tracked up. Another hit there. Storm Spirit flies through, gets the road kill. And it looks like, I don't know why, doesn't want to chase that, wants to really mark up this Shadow Demon who's low and vulnerable. If he can get the track on him, it's definitely going to help out with a big gold boost. Can he get the track down? Not in time, just coming forward now. But if they can clean up this Venomancer, there's a DD rune there as well. The Storm Spirit getting plenty of speed, can just barrel roll on top of Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum now in some serious trouble. DD on top of him, the extra speed there from the track, and he will go down. Lots of extra money now for his teammates. That Bounty Hunter finally paying dividends.
Yeah, really nice fight for World Elite. They did manage to get that counter. They started off bad, but once that Tide Ravage came in, the bounty on the TP back in, things turned in their favor pretty quickly. But Winrunner wasn't even at that fight. Winrunner, who I believe about to finish off that mech, and when they had that mech, when Winrunner joins up with them with the maxed out Shackle Shot and Power Shot, these fights are maybe going to take a turn in Zenith's favor once again, as it was going until that one there. As mid lane, they want this T1 tower. The Serpent Wards are there. They're going to get it. Storms are actually getting the last hit. That's some useful goal for him. Wondering, is he just going to... I imagine he might just go for a Bloodstone. I don't feel he desperately needs a BKB against this lineup, so could be a Bloodstone game.
It could definitely be. Could definitely, especially, oh well, I don't know, it depends how much trouble the Brewmaster gives him, I guess. He's just such a damn good brawling hero. As the Gush goes down, who is that? It's the Brewmaster getting caught out. Hey, Scott doesn't have Split Up. Oh, I don't know where he was going with that then. Just walking to 4 heroes, gets taken out. The Poison Nova gets popped. Has it hit anybody else? No, the Storm Spirit is... Oh no, that was Rasta to get taken out. Surge being used on the Titan. He hasn't got Ravage up though. It's still 50 seconds out. A Gush goes down on top of Ash Ketchum. The Venomancer needs to back up. Shackle Shot doesn't latch. Can they get another hit in? As I hear Storm Spirit fighting somewhere else, takes out the Shadow Demon. The Shackle goes down on the Windrunner, doesn't quite manage to clean up the Venomancer. Vacuum now, they're going to gun for Windrunner. She's popped the Windrunner, trying to get a Surge. She's probably going to run her down with the Iron Shell. It will finish her up. As I hear there, oh, the Hex goes down on the Crobulus. We've still got Bounty Hunter in the mix here somewhere. And she's also been tracked up as well, though the animation appears to semi-be disappearing in the water. She will go down, not being able to outrun that Iron Shell when packed up by the track. That is a
another
big...
great fight for World
Oh,
Elite.
look at that money come back. They've had 2 good team fights, got all those track gold down, taken out the first tier mid tower, and oh boy, has that pretty much equalised the game. Big swing.
It's not just the fact they're getting kills, but that track gold, as you mentioned, is just giving them a massive boost to their economy, and they were with good distance behind. I mean, Zenith had a much better early game. We saw a couple failed ganks from Bounty Hunter, but now World Elite playing much better. Storm Spirit's going to be going for the fast Orchid. That's going to be how he solves his mana problem. Boosts up that mana pool and maybe can jump the Panda. Panda, who at the moment only has Phase Boots and an Urn, so not looking all that tanky. If they can get the silence on him, maybe they can lock him down, kill him before he pops that ulti. So that could be a very useful item for the Storm Spirit. As Darkseer has got the Arcane Boots, 1100 gold, probably going to go for either the Pipe or the Mech for his team.
So the Brewmaster's getting just smacking Storm Spirit around. Actually pops an offensive Urn on him. I think it was probably a little bit earlier, but a little bit premature, kind of burning a challenge for no good reason and no real result. As Windrunner now backed up by the 2 supports, going to try and take a run at this tower. We've got Bounty Hunter here along with the Shadow Charm. He's got Serpent Wards up. They could try and go for a kill here, I think, although the Plague Ward's spotting him up.
Spotted. Yeah, and they just had an Observer Ward behind the tower, although it just expired. At the same time, Zenith know what they're up against. They've also now got the mech coming on the Windrunner. They've got 3 heroes. I think this is more Zenith laying down a trap, trying to get an advantage at the bottom lane. They've now got a 4th hero, HY coming in. This is where World Elite, if they want to fight this, they're going to need all 5 heroes, because I mean, Zenith, they've got the greater map control with those Plague Wards, and definitely they know what's coming at bottom. They can see how many heroes are here, and they're maybe just going to back off as there are a few too many World Elite heroes for their liking.
There are a whole bunch of counter wards down in this lane. I just noticed Bounty Hunter moved up just far enough to drop off a little track. I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't. I mean, ring it like just a quick Bassi or something. He's decided, you know what, not going to get that. Just go on with the bottle. Just go on with the bottle as well as Magic Wand. He says that's enough. We'll go with that. I mean, you know, you go with the. I mean, Aquila seems like an item almost made for him. It really helps solve his mana issues, gives him nice little early damage. Also helps him tank up a little bit. So I'm surprised to not see him grab that. But then again, we don't often get to see the Bounty Hunter in action, so he's gone with it. Looks like he's going for early drums for his team, I would say.
Yeah, I think the drums is quite likely here. We'll see just what he wants to get. But I mean, for me at the moment, World Elite, they're using this. I mean, Shadow Shaman as a support is actually being used really effectively. The disables coming at the right time. He's maxed up the Ether Shock as well, so not just going for the disables as a support hero. And we're going to see how they can... I mean, and just a great hero to have against that Brewmaster for all those disables as well. So we're going to see how Brewmaster can deal with that. He is going to be rushing an Ag Scepter, which, to me, could present some problems against all these disables, both the silence on the Storm, as well as those disables coming out from the Shadow Shaman, the Tide Ravage. You almost need that Bleak Dagger so you can catch your opponents by surprise. Make sure you can get the ultimate off. Going for the Ag Scepter, if he has to walk in, he could be disabled and locked down before he can cast the ulti.
We'll see how it goes. Now, Ravage is up. Serpent Ward's also up. We could see a pretty decent fight here from World Elite if they can get some backup. As long as they get some backup here, I mean, they don't want to fight 2v5. That would really suck. The Gush goes down. I don't know if they really want to do this. Purple is putting in a Storm Spirit is going. The Panda split there. Vacuum. No Ravage, so there is the Ravage, catching all those heroes, gets thrown up in the cycle a little bit too late. The exhaust system being popped there by Crobless. She's down to about 500 health, needs to be very careful. Like Gush down to about 250, 300, really needs to watch out. Shackle though, stopping Titan in his tracks. Titan losing health left, right, and so he's going to go down, gets cleaned up there by another shot there from Windrunner. Great Shackles, pinning him down, and really his Bounty Hunter not getting involved in this fight, just sort of skulking about. I really thought
he didn't actually have it. He was top lane, didn't even have a TP. He had to run to the shop to buy one. And in the end, that really was the deciding factor. It was 4v5 from the start. Brewmaster just creating so many problems, and World Elite just sort of dropping one by one to the Brewmaster, whoever he focused. And, I mean, they couldn't kill heroes fast enough. Even with a nicely placed wall of replicas, it just didn't do enough damage. They needed that Bounty Hunter with the track to sort of catch up to these heroes. Death Prophet, who was just too mobile. And now Zenith going to get not just one tower, trying to get a second tower here, as well as a couple kills. But World Elite, they've come in. Smoke actually being popped. That was.
I think that might have meant to be Dust. He had a bit of a dirt moment. And there's the Electric Vortex. Going to try and pop that on top of the Venomancer. Tracks him up as well. They will take that. And a lot of extra money for them there. They've still got the track down there on Windrunner. She should be able to get away though. She's just too far ahead at the moment. Popping that Windrunner to get the hell out of dodge. Meanwhile, there is a bit of the creep up pushing up top. Green going to port in there. The Brewmaster's going to hold that off nice and easy. And yeah, still working on the Aghanim Scepter. Has picked up that staff. And I think they might have meant to use the dust that was on Shadow Demon. Not dead sure. I don't know. Just random smoke in that fight. I'm not sure where they were going with that.
I feel maybe they thought they could just escape quicker. Like they just got out of range of town and think, okay, they're all TPing in. Let's use smoke so we can run away as quickly as possible, and then maybe look to sort of pull around and get some kills. But I mean, ultimately, Storm was in the jungle.
No, it wasn't the Storm. It was the Bounty Hunter sitting on. They saw the Bounty Hunter move in, drop a track on Windrunner, and then run away from them. So I mean, surely they'd know he was there. I don't know.
Must have been a misclick. He saw the item in his inventory and just guessed, oh, that's a smoke. No, sorry, that's a dust. No, it turned out to be a smoke. But in the end, not a massive loss. Ice is getting very close to his Aghanim Scepter, and that at the moment is going to be a big concern for World Elite. I mean, that last team fight, it was the Panda ultimate that really wrecked them, and now with Panda getting level 14, getting close to the level 3 ulti and an Ag Scepter, this is going to be a bit of a concern, and they don't really have the DPS to take out those spirits. I mean, often you see teams focusing down the Fire Panda and then moving on to the next ones if they want, but without any right-click damage, I don't think that's an option at the moment.
Yeah, they don't really have that huge, like, sustained AoE DPS. Like, we've seen, like, Leshrac completely tear Pandas apart as well, just from his huge sustained AoE DPS, which they don't really have either. I mean, they've got some good starters. They've got stuff like, you know, the Ravage there and the Ether Shock here and there, but nothing big and sustained. You see Bounty Hunter busy skulking around this bottom lane. He has picked up power treads just to help himself tank up a little bit so he doesn't get completely obliterated during the fights just by some stray nukes. As he will. Looks like he's decided, no, I can't take that. Gonna back up. It's Death Prophet finding herself in an invisibility room, bot lane up there. And she is getting very, very close to her Bloodstone. And it's going to be relatively early too. About 20 minutes is not too bad. Could be better, but you know, it's not horrendous either.
No, I definitely agree. Right now, Death Prophet getting nice and tanked up, as we're going to see. HY, yep, he's got the Bloodstone up now. Probably just going to look... I mean, do the team have a pipe? They don't really have a pipe at the moment. We've got mech up on the Windrunner. If they're worried about all that nuke damage coming in from the Tide Ravage, the Shadow Shaman, but I mean, it's not a massive amount. They just kind of need to focus more on their mobility and positioning. Top lane, Ice gets a kill with Windrunner and Shadow Demon, as he is getting closer and closer to that level 16. He's now got his Aghanim Scepter in just one creep kill.
You know, one of the downsides of rushing that Orchid on Storm's Bridge is the fact that he's so damn squishy when you do that build. In this case, he got locked down really quickly with the power shot and just obliterated by the Thunderclap as well as the power shot that followed up. He just could not stand up to that. I mean, that's practically all of his health there between that Thunderclap and the power shots. He got killed almost immediately. And Shadow Shaman just grabbing himself some braces, trying to stay ahead there on the health pool. And you see, wow, they had, I mean, Dive, they were doing great. They were coming back. They were really making some kind of comeback. And now, well, sorry, the Radiant World Elite, they were making a good comeback, and now it's just gone all sorts of pear-shaped. They lost those last couple of team fights, had the towers pushed in, and now it's back into the red for them. They're in the deficit, and now they have to try and catch up. And Bounty Hunter's been a little quiet as of late. Hasn't really been around setting up some of those good track ganks anymore. He's just sort of dropped into the jungle, trying to catch up on his farm, and I'm not sure what he's going to go for.
I think he might just get that Drum of Endurance. It gives some nice mobility. The auras are great, and it's a very cost-effective item, so I think he'll pick it up now. He does have enough gold. We'll see if he wants to go for that, the other option is going to be the BKB if he really wants the survivability. He's going to get scouted out. They have a Sentry Ward there, and Brewmaster trying to go in. Shackle shot, finds Tide. Tide trying to get her into a good position for a Ravage here. He's going to get surged away. He decides to run rather than run in, and Panda tops the ultimate. It is only a level 2 ultimate with Accept, but still that's going to cause havoc all over the place as he's trying to get some kills, but it looks like he may have popped it a bit too early, and he's going to be forced to back off, but still Zenith going to make sure they get a tower out of this at least, as it looks like they want to go in. The Darkseer wall of replica is down, and the Shackle shot down. Bounty Hunter to an illusion. Bounty Hunter caught out in all kinds of trouble. He's going to get the hell out of dodge, and now Brewmaster no longer in ulti form, shackled in the middle. There's the Tide Ravage. Took a while, but when it came, it got the Brewmaster. Caught Crob on the edge, but not going to get too much follow-up. They're now on the chase. Storm Spirit leading forward. He's almost got the Orchid up, but getting silenced, forced to sort of slow down his pace. Storm gets comboed in that silence. Great silence from HY, but they will lose the Venomancer. But in the end, I definitely think a nice trade there for Zenith, and now they're looking for more.
Yeah, Zenith now get the shackle there on the Darkseer. He will go down, gets double nuked there by a power shot, as well as the Crypt Swarm. Poison probably going to bring down the Raster. If not, the Crypt Swarm going to do the job as well. Death Prophet up to 9 charges on that Bloodstone. This is not looking too good for World Elite. I mean, they had a decent comeback, but now Zenith, they're on the warpath. They've found where they're going to go. And I don't know. Just going to look at the Bounty Hunter for a second. He's currently sitting on 255 GPM, struggling just a bit. Wanted to go for with items. Oh, no, he's grabbed him. Oh, he's gone for a Mithril Hammer. Alright then. I mean, this could still be a BKB. Or it could be a Stygian. Maybe. I don't know. Kind of hard to tell. Maybe he's just going for some... But I'm thinking BKB, but I kind of feel... I don't know if it was BKB. I mean, I feel at this point like he feels a little bit too squishy. He would have gone for the club burst.
Yeah, that's what confuses me. If he wanted BKB, he'd go for the Ogre Club, because that's the whole point. You get BKB for the survivability, and if you want survivability, you want to get the Ogre Club first, but... Going for the Mithril Hammer may just be going for some damage. Get the Desolator to help take out heroes like this Death Prophet who need to be taken down quickly in these fights. Even the Brewmaster, he'll get focused down a lot quicker with the Desolator, but still, the problem is always going to be this Bounty Hunter is so damn squishy, and one disable and he's going to go down, but if they can get the backup he needs from the Tide Hunter, the Darkseer, even Stormspirit can go flying in, I mean, maybe they can keep him alive to do enough damage.
Yeah, I just honestly not dead sure on this Orchid Belt. Like we saw again, like Stormspirit, he got silenced mid-fight, and then it was useless. Like, he was just too squishy. They brought him down straight away before the silence even wore off. I think that might be a serious issue for him if he's not... Well, basically, if he's leading the fight, if Tide Hunter is unable to get up the front and brawl like the Brewmaster is doing, and then Stormspirit is forced to try and jump into the middle of a bunch of enemies, he's just going to get obliterated like that, but it's because he's too damn squishy by rushing the Orchid, so this may backfire if he keeps trying to lead the fights like that.
Yeah, that silence just, as soon as he gets silenced, he just got focused down. I think he got hit by a Soul Catcher as well, so he just took additional damage and got completely wiped out. He hasn't even finished this Orchid yet as well, so he's going to need that BKB up as fast as possible once he finishes off this Orchid. I mean, at this point, you've got the 2 Oblivion Staffs. He's going to finish off the Orchid, but the BKB is going to be a long way off. And, I mean, he basically has to save that BKB for whenever that silence comes, or whenever he's maybe thinking he might be about to get shackled. As Windrunner as well, building a silent stick, so if that can come up fairly soon, that's another disable to help lock down this Storm Spirit.
I know. I just noticed people in the chat. Some of the viewers are busy ruffling at the call that it might be a Desolator just because he's gone for the Mithril Hammer first. Guys, start ruffling when I build my Lothar's Bounty Hunter. That's right. That's what I like on my Bounty Hunter. So much fun. So much fun indeed. The Shadow Demon has grabbed up a staff, which I'm kind of expecting to see a 4-staff coming to him. Just a great little utility item. Will also help push people out of... I think it'll just be nice. It'll get Death Prophet out of a bind and just help her kite the enemy and just keep out of range of that Tide Hunter who's going to get up. Tide Hunter really needs to get up the front and brawl. At the moment he's really struggling just because he had a bit of a crappy start. It was not easy. I honestly think that they were expecting to go against the Brewmaster mid and they weren't expecting to have to deal with the Death Prophet initially when they first picked him up there and sort of tried to organise their lanes, although Tide Hunter now just going to try and catch his farm in the mid. As Windrunner, she's got an Oblivion stuff. Looks like she's also working on that Orchid herself. I'm just going to laugh. She manages to grab that Orchid before the Storm Spirit does. Although he's relatively close. He just needs... Actually, he's almost got it. He's so damn close.
Yeah.
Just a recipe and it's like 100 gold shy.
But the thing is, Windrunner's going to get that Orchid up before Storm Spirit has its BKB. So that's just one more silence, one more disable that's going to make Storm Spirit have to play so cautiously in these team fights. The only time when Storm Spirit can really go in and be aggressive is when the Tide is in there as well with that Ravage and there's a Darkseer, maybe Vacuum or Wall of Replica to create sort of confusion and keep Storm alive, because he's going to be getting silenced by the Orchid, by the Death Prophet, locked down by Shackle Shots, and just focused down. He is the main priority for Zenith, it seems.
Now, Crobulus has picked up a Misty Stuff. I'm kind of thinking she might go for... I mean, she could go for Hex. That would still be a great item. But I'm thinking maybe Sheep is just to bulk up her armor. Because like, you look now, she's pretty much... She's on pretty much 0 armor at the moment just because of that track. So I'm feeling a Shivas. That's my...
Yeah, I think Shivas definitely can work here. And at the same time, the Sheepstick is just so damn good against Storm Spirit as well as heroes like Bounty Hunter. I mean, you want to lock them down. You want to be able to deal with them, as we are going to see Roshan being taken out by Zenith. It looks like World Elite not even going to try and stop this. Bounty Hunter does pop the Shadow Walk, but I don't think he wants to walk in there. There is a Sentry Ward waiting for him.
Yeah, it'd be pretty silly for him to try and charge in there when he knows a team like Zenith are going to make sure they ward up before they try and rush. So it looks like the Dire's top lane is still pushing, apparently. I think they're saying, should we go and check it out? Probably a bad idea if they do. I'm watching Shadow Demons have got some more dust on him. Windrunner has almost... Windrunner is actually not far behind him at all, because she's about 500 gold shy as well. She's not very far away. As apparently people are having trouble with ads in the... Guys, we're not spamming ads in the middle of the game. I've talked to Gunrun about it. He hasn't managed to track down the issue. I'm honestly thinking it might just be your net like phasing out for a second, and then the Twitch going, oh, you've reconnected, I'm going to show you an ad. That is my guess. That is the only logical reason, because we are not playing ads in the middle of the stream. We would never do that. We would never do that. So I have no idea why it's popping up, but we have alerted Twitch that it is happening, and they're looking into it. Well, at least that's what they told. I assume they are. That's what they told me anyway.
Anyways, at the moment we've got Zenith at bottom. We're going to see what looks to be a 4-staff coming on the Shadow Demon. He has picked up a Staff of Wizardry. That's going to give him more mobility to help deal with the Bounty Hunter and the Stormstreet, as well as Zenith. They're grouping up at bottom. They want this last outer tower here, and they may want to push on in after that. They've got the Aegis up. That's going to give them some nice survivability. They put it on the Death Prophet, so the Panda and Brewmaster, who did go down last fight, not going to have it. He's about to pick up a Blink Dagger maybe. He's sitting on 2.1k gold, and we're going to see whether or not he can push on in here, as it does look like with this Aegis, Zenith want to make something happen.
It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. I mean, now is definitely a great time because they've just got the advantage right now. They've got that gold advantage, got that lead up and running, although the exhaustion gets popped, and now the Serpent Wars get thrown down in response. Going to try and hold this off. Iron Shell is up there. Used on the Brewmaster, also gets tracked up. Vacuum being used, try and drag him, but nothing happens. I was kind of expecting a wall of replica to get thrown in first. Darkseer has got his mech up and running. Slightly unorthodox item on him, but we'll see how it works. I mean, they don't really... A big fear for them right now is physical damage, so I don't find that's a bad choice at all. As Crobulus pops the invis from the... She has bottled up there. Still has that Aegis up and running. As they're going to lose that... Oh, they lost the Bounty Hunter. The Ravage goes out for the time, and he does have a blink. Sets this fight up. Can they capitalize? I think they can. Bounty Hunter has brought back. Tidehunter is about to go down in a second. When he lands, he will get taken out, I think, although he's been whirlwind for quite some time. Or maybe he'll sneak away. No, he managed to sneak away. They don't get that last hit on him. Crobulus now very low. Has been marked up by the track. And now the Earth Panda, I think, is the only one left alive. There are tons and tons of tracks. By the way, that was a great setup there from that Tide. Blinking really caught Zenith off guard. And looks like they're going to try and clean up this Brewmaster. Brewmaster now just being spotted up by that track as well. They're going to try and take out the Probabilist and Windrunner. They looks like they'll walk away. Just going to take out the Brewmaster instead. But, I mean, they got the Brewmaster, they got the Venomancer, they got the Shadow Demon. I think that was definitely a good fight. Didn't even lose the tower.
Yeah, really nice fight. They did have to buy back all the Bounty Hunter, but at this point, Bounty Hunter, I mean, he's not going to be getting up any sort of huge carry items. He's happy to use that gold to get that nice team fight. And Tidehunter surviving. He was one hit away from death. And the Earth Panda actually chased him into the base. It was throwing a boulder, but he blink dodged the boulder. So great plays coming out from that Tidehunter. That blink initiation, as you said, catching Zenith by surprise, and they definitely did not expect that. And the Darkseer followed it up with that wall, and just too much damage, too much chaos. And there was not enough firepower coming out from Zenith. They did get taken out. They've still got the Aegis on Death Prophet, who is getting closer and closer to that Shiver's Guard. But it's always just so damn hard to push against the Darkseer. And, I mean, when you've got a time with Blink as well, you have to be so careful with your positioning.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As you see, the Radiant just pulling back a bit, that team fight working out for them really, really well. Death Prophet, though, still 400 plus GPM, so she's doing extremely well on the farm front. Storm Spirit, though, not that far behind, 370 -ish. He's doing pretty well himself. Just needs to start bulking up. Now it's starting to be a little bit harder to kill, and it looks like he's going for that BKB right now. He's got the Ogre Club up and running, and he's got enough for the Mithril Hammer as well. I was just looking at Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter actually bought back And I think it's a Stygian. He's got 1,200 gold, and he's not buying that Ogre Club, or maybe he's just saving for buyback at the center. Because I mean, he did buyback during that last fight, and it did work out for him in the end, getting those extra tracks down for his team. And they're really thinking about he's really thinking about going on this Windrunner.
Oh yeah, and with a couple hours nearby, but they probably wants the Storm Spirit there. It's just the Tide and the Dark Sea. The Storm Spirit's one you can jump in. He's going to pop down the track though, which I like. He's track and run. He can now keep track of where these heroes are, know where they move. Oh man, this is why I'm tired. But I completely know where they move and just make sure they don't come into this jungle, look to pick him off. And he's going to back off now. Meanwhile, Storm still farming away at top lane, trying to get that BKB up. This Storm Spirit, with the Orchid finish, only about 1k gold away from BKB. And with that BKB, World Elite will have a much easier job at defending this bottom lane.
Oh yes, definitely. And now the Brewmaster, though, he's got his level 3, along with the Argo. He's got the OMG WTF BBQ Pandas. And that's something that the Lorraine are really going to watch out for, because it's not really getting to the stage yet where they're sort of a liability, and where they're easy to kill. Out there, the blink in, has the blink in, just tries to initiate though on the Rasta. Rasta gets his Serpent Wards off though in time. Exhaust System has been popped, and now I think we've got Storm Spirit back in the mix. Ravage is also up. It's only level 2 though, but he has got the blink is actually on cooldown. That Serpent Ward keeps knocking it off. They need to get rid of that. There we go. Now Tidehunter has got the opportunity to open up. He's getting ready. He's getting ready. Is your body ready for this? Or not? He's just going to chill. He's going to wait. As I heard the Brewmaster jumping into the mix again. Splits as well. He's not going to... I'm really... Where is the Ravage? I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting. There we go. He's waiting for the wall. There we go. The Ravage blink in. Ravage, the Death Prophet now getting focused in. Her ult is actually finished. They don't need to focus her anymore. They just need to take out those other heroes. That was a Shivas does get popped. Looks like we're going to lose Storm Spirit. No, Storm Spirit barrel rolling out of trouble. He's still got plenty of mana to get away. Tide now trying to get out of trouble. Gets stunned by the Earth Panda. And this is not looking too good for the Rain. They've already lost 3 heroes. Tidehunter though buying back. We'll be back in the mix in just a second. As now the mech being popped there. Vacuuming. What is that? Shadow Demon getting vacuumed back into the mix. Also the Brewmaster recombined. They still haven't taken this tower though. They managed to hold off that push for long enough. In fact, the Exhaust System was mostly wasted from what I was watching. As the slow being used there from the Venomous Scowl, and it will cover their retreat. Oh no, they're going back in. What are they doing? They're going back in. They're going to try again. Or not? No, they're going to back up. The Death Prophet ultimate's
up in about 20 seconds, but yeah, I'd expect it. They're going to back up. They're just too low, and World Elite are slowly respawning. They've got their entire team up in a couple seconds now, but I mean, they did some damage, they got some kills. I think that did go Zenith's way. And, I mean, they still this Aegis. It's Aegis on Death Prophet. It's turning out Death Prophet just can't be killed. I feel like some of these utility heroes, I mean, the Windrunner, the Shadow Demon, maybe could benefit a bit more from it. But right now, World Elite is staying in this game, and especially Storm Spirit, who has now finished his BKB, could be looking for that initiation in. Take out 1 or 2 heroes very quickly, like the Shadow Demon or the Venomancer, to give his team a numbers advantage from the start.
I mean, by the time that Tide waited so damn long to go in. By the time he actually initiated with the Ravage, the Exhaust System was just ending. So it was like, I think they started focusing and then realized, hey, Exhaust System is finished, let's try and kill something else. And at that point, they were worried about, like, pandas were all in their face, causing all sorts of hell. And in the end, a few of them died, and the rest of the Rangers just backed up. In fact, Tide even had to buy back that fight. And I really feel that World Elite are currently only just holding by the skin of their teeth. And the question is whether or not they can go into this late game. Just because if Storm Spirit had a better earlier game, I'll be a lot more confident. But as it is, Storm Spirit has been a little bit slow to get rolling. But he's got the BKB now. He's got the Orchid as well. So maybe things are about to start going their way. As he is about to get silenced, he's just going to port out though. Although the Brewmaster getting stuck in will successfully port out. No mini stuns to knock him out. Brewmaster now building an Assault Curious. He's going to become the Aura Master now.
Yeah, exactly. When he's focusing on that ultimate, with the Aghanim Scepter, you want to get those auras, because those do transfer on over to your Primal Split Pandas. So he's going to get the Assault Crest up, maybe even something like a Vlad's afterwards. But at the moment, the Assault Crest will take him some time, as right now, Zenith, they just they're just being very persistent. They just push after push on this bottom lane. The problem is now Darkseid has both Pipe and Mech, and they're going to be looking for another Ravage with that Darkseid Wall of Replicas. The Panda and Brewmaster deals well with that, because you can't make replicas of those Primal Splits. With the Venomancer Ward.
Yeah. This could be
Looks
trouble.
Like Brewmaster. Oh, there's the ulti. He wants this Tidehunter. Tidehunter needs to get out. He probably can do so. He gets shackled though. There's another. Needs to get another Kraken Shell split as he's looking for a Ravage. The silence goes off. There we go. He does manage to get the ulti off, but he's still taking damage. The Darkseid with the mech, the pipe, keeping them team alive. And there's the wall with the Serpent Wards. They've taken out 2. It looks like Zenith overextended a bit, but Storm and Tide have both gone down now to the Brewmaster, who is just continuing to brawl away in the enemy base. He now comes out of ulti form. He's going to find... Oh, no, he just runs past the Darkseid. A bit of a mistake there. Now Sheep under tower. Shadow Shaman going to look for a shackle. Is it going to come? Brewmaster on the run. He will survive, maybe. Oh man, if he gets away, he's... Oh, the Windrunner does go down though. The Iron Shell on the Bounty Hunter, but Brewmaster is still alive. Bounty Hunter, he's trapped him. He can go for the Brewmaster. There we go. He finally realizes that he can go for this Brewmaster. Brewmaster though going to blink away TP, and it's going to survive. They will get this Death Prophet though, but that fight was all over the place. World Elite. I mean, they had a better fight, but it ended a bit scrappy, and they lost some heroes they shouldn't, and now Death Prophet going to get a kill on Shadow Shaman, and still maybe even survive. Aatroyd just too damn tanky.
Yeah, they can't deal with him. In fact, they really need to back up here. And again, like, Tide unfortunately really got caught out. That was a great start by them, but they held. But in the end, like, he got the Ravage off in the end, but it only hit, like, Venomancer and a couple of, and the Panda Splits. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't hit the ones that needed to hit, which they really wanted to get that Windrunner at the back. Really wanted to get the Crobulus. I do not think it got anywhere even close to her. It was, they went up with a good wall, which is the only thing that really kept them in, the only thing that kept World Elite in that fight. But having to pop that Ravage was really the thing that sort of made it wind up so damn scrappy, I feel.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. That Ravage did just get popped a bit preemptively. Tide knew he was going down to that Brewmaster, so he decided, hey, let's just throw this while we can. Brewmaster now going to make... Well, they're going to take out Roshan, whether or not goes to the Brewmaster or they put it on the Death Prophet again. I think Death Prophet was so damn tanky. No, they're going to give it to Death Prophet again.
I don't know why, because the thing is, if she dies mid-ult, she doesn't come back with her ult. So she's... I just feel like they could give it to someone else.
Not to mention, Death Prophet has a Bloodstone with 14 charges. Yeah. That is going to be a very quick respawn. If Death Prophet dies, I mean, doesn't have Boots of Travel, of course, so it will take some time to get back to the fight, but it's not going to be a bigger loss as if Panda gets picked off. He does not have buyback. That is a much bigger loss here. They are going to keep it on the Death Prophet.
Even the Windrunner, I mean, she's hitting she's hitting for about, nearly 200 damage a swing. She's got that Orchid. She's no pushover. I mean, she could really benefit from it as well. She does a fair bit of damage in these fights, and she's also packing that mech for her team. I really feel like it would be a better option because, like you said, Prophet is already so freaking tanky. It's kind of like giving Leo like a third Aegis. It's like, why bother? Just give it to someone else and basically have two extra heroes per fight almost. But as it is, they've decided to go with it. So, that's their decision. We'll see what they can do with it. And Brewmaster now working on that assault because they're still trying to get this bottom racks. Like every single time they come back to this racks, they know the tower's low. They really want it bad. Now Ravage is up this time. They might actually be able to land a good. Although this time it might be. Oh no, Darkseid getting 4 stars away. Really smooth moves. I think it was Rasta. Rasta, yeah, pushing him out of there, just getting him out of trouble. The tracks are going down. They're already spotting up the Panda and Brewmaster as well as the Venomancer. Just going to spread that neg armor around. Where is that? Oh, the silence is down on the Shadow Shaman. Tide is now smoked up. Not dead sure why, but they have decided to smoke him up. More tracks getting thrown in. 20 for Tide going. He's really waiting for it. There we go. He's going to pop in. Counter initiate there. Oh, well, basically counter. As the Storm Spirit went in first. They've already managed to pick off the Windrunner. She buys back though. Can she get back to the fray? The tower is down. The Brewmaster is busy brawling there. Dust gets popped. I'm not sure who buy. Venomancer goes down as well. All 5 Radiant heroes are still up. He's got Storm Spirit buying back. They did get taken at mid-fight. The Whirlwind being used there on the Rasta. Rasta 4-star forward. Gonna try and pick off the Prophet. She gets hexed. The question is, can they actually kill the stun there from the Brewmaster on the Tidehunter? He's in a bit of trouble. And there is the Storm Spirit all over the Crobulus. And she's down. The thing is, she's got nothing now. She's just going to get focused now, although the Brewmaster is back in. She pops it, looks at the Brewmaster. She's going to brawl like hell. Brewmaster all over these guys.
That shackle shot, 2 heroes. That was a 3v4, and they just killed 2 heroes with a great shackle shot. Darkseid is forced to buy back, and now the wall is down, the Ravage is down. This is when they can take some Raxes, even without the Exorcism. It is going to be up in 30 seconds, and, I mean, that time, there's no Darkseid wall still. There's no Tide Ravage. This could be a chance to get 1 set of Rax, maybe even a 2nd set of Raxes.
It comes down to Storm Spirit. Can he defend? He's being silenced though by that Orchid. He also gets hit. Oh, he's very low. Will he go down? Not quite. And now it's down to Darkseid to hold him off for a few seconds while his teammates show up along with the Bounty Hunter. They're doing a lot of damage. In fact, that Windrunner focus firing. the melee racks, and Bounty Hunter just cannot handle it by himself. It will go down, gets cleaned up, and Zenith finally getting what they came for. Although the counter-attack here from the Storm Spirit, he will clean up the Brewmaster, and in the meantime, Crobula's going to try to get the hell out. She is down to all of 18 charges on her Bloodstone. My god. That is a ridiculous amount. And the Shackle looks like she will go down and finally loses the third.
7 seconds.
Oh
7 seconds to respawn.
God, that is ridiculous.
Oh, I agree, man. And I mean, the problem is World Elite is forced to buy back. They hold, but constant buybacks, and they didn't exactly hold. They lost to melee barracks.
It was a BKB.
In the end, I mean, they're staying close because they keep getting the track gold. The track gold is keeping them in this game. They're not falling too far behind. Shadow Shaman mid gets shackled though. Trouble for him. The silence goes off as well. He actually gets surged and forced out though. So World Elite keeping their team alive. Brewmaster's still dead. This is a problem. He's one of those heroes that they couldn't afford to have picked off, and maybe World Elite could make something happen here, but no, they're going to back off, and Zenith find themselves once again on the front foot. They can, if they want, they can just sit around, wait for Roshan to respawn and get the cheese and Aegis because they have their lanes pushing out.
And now we've got Bounty Hunter. He did in fact go for a BKB in the end. Went, I want a little bit of damage for my survivability. Went and got the Mithril Hammer because he could, I suppose. Or maybe he just had the money for it and bought it because, well, he was afraid of dying or something. But anyway, Storm Spirit now with 2.8k. I feel like he's just saving for buybacks at the moment, along with, well, actually it's on cooldown for another 2.5 minutes or so, but he's just saving for an item while he also just keeps the cash aside for a buyback in case he needs it, because, like you said, they have been using a lot of buybacks in these fights just to hold. It has definitely been very painful, although Windrunner did buyback in the last fight, and she was instrumental in saving that Crobulus during the initial part, especially the Brewmaster came in with a huge slam, thunderclap, and then a whole bunch of crits came out from him. He was really looking fine in that fight. Now Crobulus is looks like she's going for a Hex. I think she's picked up an Ultimate Orb. I'm thinking it's a Hex incoming. Brewmaster now just jungling for a bit. Still
couple of Zenith heroes seem to be going for those Sheep Sticks. We see both Windrunner as well as the Death Prophet with Ultimate Orbs. A couple of Sheep Sticks, great little counter item for that Storm Spirit. I mean, for any of those heroes, picking off Darks here, preventing him from using the Surge, he's actually gone for a Blink Dagger on Darks here, which I think is a nice item this late in the game, so he can get in the perfect position to use that Wall plus Vacuum combo. But all these heroes are very susceptible to being taken out by those by the Sheep Sticks, which we're going to see Zenith picking up soon as Assault Crest is finished on Brewmaster. Brewmaster though, if he gets focused down, that could be a big problem, and definitely, I think that has to be the target for World Elite. Go in on the Brewmaster, pop the Rabbits. Even if you only hit 2 or 3 heroes, even if you only hit the Brewmaster, if you can kill him before he ulties, that's going to be probably a one fight. Although they do have to worry about the Death Prophet doing a lot of damage. Yeah.
Also should mention that Bounty Hunter spent some extra cash there and picked up a Yasha at some point. And notice that it is just, I think he's just picked that up. As he pops a haste, going to go look for some trouble. I'm not going to find anything though. The 9 teams in it, they're all up on the top lane at the moment. Looks like they're going to try and push this top rack as well. And I like this. I like pushing the outside racks first, just because like once you get one racks, it's going to start pushing on its own, and it means there's a lot more ground to cover between defending the racks if you're going for like just that split push. It is very, very frustrating. I mean, we saw that last game actually. Who was it? Invasion Red did that very well as well. They had the Fury on the bottom lane, just pushing down there, and while they had the pressure on the top lane as well, it was very, very effective. In the end, that's what opened up the game for them. They got that Raxon just because the Dire team, World Elite, they were too busy running in between Raxes, and in the end, they picked one off. They committed to one fight, didn't work out, and it took too long to get back to defend against Furion, and he got himself a free Rax. So I like the fact that Zenith, Zenith that's sort of replicating that here.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm damn happy this Bounty Hunter didn't get a Desolator.
I'm damn disappointed he didn't get a Lothus.
I can't believe he actually got the Mithril Hammer before that Ogre Club. I guess he just desperately wanted some additional damage, but right now you could either go for the Sanjin Yasha or the Mantis. I think you can justify a Sanjin Yasha at this point. It does give him some survivability, and the Mantis I feel is not going to really do all that much. Those illusions are just going to get taken out by carrion swarms, power shots, next to anything. Those illusions are going to be pretty much useless. And there's not too many. I mean, you can get rid of the silence from Death Prop. That's probably the most useful thing that Mantis will do. But we'll see. It looks like Zenith looking to take out Roshan. They don't want to push until they've got the cheese and Aegis in their hands, and they're going to play it as safe as possible.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no real incentive for them to push right now. They've got no sense of urgency. There's no clock ticking on some really nasty mid-game semi-carry like Lycan, or even like a late-game hero like Anti-Mage. So, yeah, they can afford, they've got a Rax already, they can just sit back and go, yeah, well, where's that Aegis, where's that cheese, we'll grab that and then go in. And in this case, finally they might give it to somebody else for a change and not Crobulus, just because she's kind of filling up on items there, although actually she's about to finish her Hex, actually, so they might actually give it to her again. In fact, she may just be trying to pick that up before they go and do the Rosh. Just spamming the crap out of Carrion Wave. Meanwhile, the Radiant, they're all grouped up at the moment. Darkseer also with a Blink Dagger. That is slightly, well, really unconventional, actually. I don't know.
It's not that unheard of. It's one of those things where it's just to get into the right position to use that wall. When Tide blinks in with a Ravage, Darkseer is not always going to be close enough to get off that wall of Replica with a vacuum. So having a Blink Dagger, I think, is really nice. Because Surge isn't instant. That Blink Dagger is instant, you're in the right position. Surge, you still have to run in, and that half a second can sometimes cost you.
And now we've got the Storm Spirit jumping on top of the Windrunner. The track goes down on Windrunner. She will get cleaned up there. Also, the Venomancer going to go down as well. Did he get the... He got the Nova off. He got his Venomous Scalp. BKB, though, being popped by the Storm Spirit, and it looks like he's got the Electric Board. No, it's 7 seconds of cooldown. That Exhaust is doing a lot of damage. The Spirit Catcher as well. The Soul Catcher on top of him. Down goes Rasta. He didn't get his ult off. Oh no, he did not manage to pop the Serpent Ward. Tidehunter is also on the retreat. Has already used the Ravage, and he gets pinned down by the Pandas. Gets taken out. And now Crobulus is on the warpath there. Storm Spirit, though, has plenty of mana. Will just leap out of the fight. Although now, wow, she's very low now. We'll try and teleport out. Meanwhile, who's that there? Bounty Hunter also very low himself. And you know, I agree. Positioning is such an important such an important thing in this game. The Blink is never a bad item, just unusual. That's all.
Yeah, and I mean that fight there, that was like in some ways it was a perfect initiative from World Elite. The problem is they killed off the Windrunner, who is a very problematic hero. That was a nice kill there. Venomancer, it doesn't really matter too much. He does have that pipe, but Brewmaster, just every time he goes in, gets 2-3 kills with the help of Death Prophet, who just tanks up. And I feel if they don't go in on this Brewmaster, they're just going to lose heroes every time. I mean, that was a 5v3 fight once without. I mean, obviously they didn't have the Ravage. They popped the Ravage, and then it became 5v3. But still, even without Ravage, they should be able to win a 5v3 fight. But the problem is Death Prophet as well as the Panda and Brewmaster in that ulti form, just able to take on any fight regardless of numbers. And this is where they just have to make sure they save those disables and really try and catch out that Brewmaster. Brewmaster looks like he's going to be building a Vlad's here, I want to say. He's got a Ring of Protection on his stash, so I think that's going to be the start of a Vlad's. Yeah, well, the Aura Master, it's about all you can... It's kind of like almost like playing Meepo. You've got a very, very static build that you have to go with if you're going for this sort of late-game Brewmaster, because if he's using those Pandas, hasn't got a whole lot of options if he's using that Primal Split in the late game. But now the Venomancer has been tracked up. Also, the Crobulus getting tracked up there, but they can't really... Bounty Hunter can't go in there. He knows there's going to be a ward up there. He knows they're not going to be silly enough to push without protection. Ooh, they may just go in. They've got 5, and there's no Brewmaster ultimate up in 4 seconds, though. So this is a bit of a worrisome. There's no Tide Ravage as well for quite a long time. Yeah, I think it would be a bit of a questionable choice. Although, Shadow Shaman still has his Serpent Walls up. They're only level 2, though. Really wants that 16. And he didn't actually manage to pop them during that last fight. Oh, who was that? Bounty Hunter getting disabled straight away by a Hex. It looks like we've already lost the Venomancer, but nobody really cares, as they might be able to focus on Crobulus, although she gets defensively banished by the Shadow Team. Very good work from him. The Brewmaster is already down. My god, he got focused quickly. Also, Crobulus is dead too. 30 seconds on her respawn. Holy crap, what happened? How did they die so damn quickly? Just completely caught out positioning. This game has been entirely about positioning. And that was the perfect Darkseer wall. The Ravage, I mean, often you say you want to start the fight with the Ravage, but that was the perfect example of where mid-fight, the Ravage did more than it would have done if it was used at the start of the fight. Having the Ravage come into play mid-fight helped out more, because I think Zenith was like, okay, there's no Ravage, we can keep fighting this, but no, that mid-fight Ravage wreaked havoc. It finished off the Crobulus. That defensive disruption, I mean, almost kept him alive for that Ravage. And then Stormster realized, okay, there's the Death Prophet. Let's get him. If he gets taken out, this fight will get turned around. And I think it looks like they took out the Brewmaster before Brewmaster used ulti, and that's always going to be the deciding factor. They finally killed Brewmaster before he got the ulti off. What did the DPS... I'm trying to figure out what the DPS is. Looks like we're going to lose Stormspirit. That gets picked up. Oh, that sucks. That's a big problem. Yeah. But what did the DPS... Like, Crobulus just melted. I'm trying to figure out what the hell killed her. Just a combination of Stormspirit. I mean, the Darkseer, all those replica illusions, I mean, and then just a bit of focus fire. It was just so much damage coming in. It was also sitting on top of those the Serpent Wards. But still, I mean, the trap amplifies the damage a little bit by lowering armor, but not by a huge margin. But
Well, she's
Storm Spirit got caught out there. That kind of ruined all the momentum World Elite just got. And now look at this, Zenith launching down the mid lane. Brewmaster just respawning. He can't TP quite in just yet, but you've got to worry for World Elite. Even with that great fight there, they're still in a lot of trouble.
And he can't buy back either. He does not have enough cash. This looks like this could be a Minrax. They also, the exhaust system is back up as well. Going to take this pretty easy. I think Serpent Wars get thrown down defensively. I don't think they're going to be good enough. As, Hex there on the Darks. He's also being slowed quite heavily. He will get away though. Silenced, I think he got hit by the Orchid, the Hex, as well as that Shiva's Guard. All the items being popped on him. As many as they can possibly afford. But, I don't know, it seems like the exhaust system was completely wasted. I thought they were going to press in. You know, they didn't have to worry about the Ravage, didn't have to worry about the Storm Spirit. I thought they'd go in, but they decided not to. And again, another vacuum just drawing her out of position. And it looks like they're just going for... I think they went for a split push. It was kind of necessary. They had the advantage. They should have just pushed in, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, the Darkseer wall just sort of slowing them down. And I mean, they're happy to use that Darkseer wall at mid, even though it wasn't used all that effectively. It's just to buy time. They need this Storm Spirit alive, and with that, Storm Spirit is now back in play. He's got both Sheepstick and the Orchid, and they are looking to maybe get some pickoffs here. They've spammed some tracks. They have vision of the Death Prophet. There we go. Storm Spirit goes in. He gets Sheep. Great quick Sheep, and is going to be Chain Sheep. No, he gets the BKB off. There's the Tide, saving the Ravage. Not going to use it right away. He's actually silenced. And Death Prophet doing a lot of damage, but doesn't have the Exorcism up. There's the Tide Ravage just before Tide goes down, and Bounty Hunter picking up a kill. It's all up to this Bounty Storm. They're looking for the Shadow Demon. Storm taking a lot of damage, though. The Focus Fire coming from the Windrunner. Storm actually going to go down again, and this is not looking good for World Elite, losing that Storm Spirit. That is the key hero. Without him, they may struggle to defend, and the Exorcism going to be up very, very soon.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of trouble. As it looks like Bounty Hunter managed to clear the Shadow Demon. Not really mattering, though, as, Darkseer about to get taken as well against Hex, but he's a fast little piggy. Loses him with Squeal and Run with that Surge on. And they've given the Aegis to the Windrunner. So, I mean, even if they picked up the Windrunner, they wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway. She just respawned a few seconds. Have they used the cheese on Krob? Krob did pop the cheese into the fight. And I just feel that's the main disadvantage. They had that cheese, had that Aegis. Didn't need to use the Aegis, but they had the cheese as well. Krob just took a ton of damage and then immediately healed it all back up. And now she's got another 11 charges on her Bloodstone. 3 heroes down. No buybacks available maybe for... Nope. Not for, Yep, nobody has buybacks. And it's not going to hold.
This is going to be another rack. Yeah, this will be another rack. Oh no, nice wall. It's just going to stall things though. It's not going to actually successfully get any kills, as we're going to see. Initiation, Bounty Hunter wants to stop this. He's got the BKB, but he gets Chain Hex. He's going to go down. Great play from Zenith, using those hexes so well, and they are being a deciding factor in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Shackle goes down on Windrunner. She's still got the Aegis, so she doesn't even care. She's going to go straight in and fight. They bring down the Shaman as well. Rasta is down, and it looks like the Brewmaster's still brawling up front. Doesn't really care. He's out of mana though. We'll need to sort of... does anybody have Arcane Boots on the dire side? Yes, they do. Venomancer has them, but they're on cooldown for quite a while. Shadow Demon also, his are off. Could fuel them up there. Throwing in another Thunderclap. As the Storm Spirit just going to try and brawl with the Brewmaster. He's not really winning though. Brewmaster proving to be one tough customer. In the end, finally going down there to the Storm Spirit, but he's very, very low. Shackle going down. I'm not sure who that hit. The Hex there on top of the Windrunner. And they will have to back up. No way that they can handle this. They do need to back up. Shiva's going to slow them down quite badly though. A Storm Spirit needs to be careful, and they're going to lose the Darkseer. I heard buybacks though. Darkseer just buying back. Finally been amassing enough cash for that, and he will get straight back in the mix. But I mean, they've lost the racks, and the mid
lane. Brewmaster just having to hit away. He's actually going to go in on the Darkseer. Probably might try to get this kill, or may just turn around, use those primal splits just to focus on the tower. No, he's going to get this kill. Great micro from Ice locking him down. There's the silence from Windrunner. Power shot, not enough damage though, and it looks like he will survive those. The problem is the Radiant team don't have enough damage to kill those Earth, Fire, and Storm Pandas, and that is just, I mean, without the late game DPS, it's all relying on the Storm, who's in a lot of trouble. Storm is just too squishy at this point. Hexed again, taken out. That is going to be GG, I feel now, as there's just not enough left for World Elite to defend with.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. I could say Zenith playing very great. Once again, there's the blink of the Ravaging Titan. I'm not going to do enough though. As now Krobler, she was low, then she just, her ult came off, her ult finished up, healed her up, and now she's going to stand around spamming the crap out of Carrion Swarm because she can. It's what the Brewmaster is, smacking everybody with a stick because he doesn't even care. Does not even care. Dies once again. Does not even give a damn. And the Megas are up, and this is GG. Triple kill of Death Prophet. And guys, you've been watching Zenith versus World Elite. Zenith managing to take out World Elite, although World Elite, I've got to say, put up a much better fight than last game. I did enjoy this one a lot more. And this shot, and because we've got to remember that honestly, Zenith are a much harder team than Invasion Red. Invasion Red is sort of a hit and miss. They're not a bad team. They're just a little hit and miss. And I feel that Zenith are definitely one of the most rock solid teams in this tournament. They're definitely one of the best. They're up there.